Hi guys, welcome back to the Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak. Now we're just at the beginning of it. We're called a Spriggan, which is like kind of like a detective. Who stays away from the cops and all that stuff. So he's kind of like underground, which is good. Reminds me of my old days when I was a PI. Going around doing stuff. That's why I like this game a lot. Kind of reminds me back when. Okay.
In Scotland, King Charles III marks Scottish Parliament's 25th anniversary. He addressed the chamber, then watched a series of Scottish cultural performances and met local heroes across the country. In India, tickets for the band Coldplay are reselling for thousands of dollars more than face value. The band will play Mumbai next year, but good luck getting seats. Tickets sold out in minutes. The resellers are charging up to $10,000 per seat. And let's look at some stories. Coming up on the Fox Report, we'll nose around the San Diego Zoo and pay a visit to the park's newest edition. And we'll tell you why art marks only come out at night. When I started my pillow, it was just a problem solution underwriting company. So since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of others. Some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. And use my pillows, $25. My pillow set, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25.
His nose is as sharp as ever. Adios knows how this is going to end, but it better be with my classmates' sakes.
$25. And there's so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75.
Music's real good in this too, I have to admit.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here for updates on 100 Mint. No. It's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. Honestly, when I started this, I only had like 4 of these. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? So I shouldn't be victim right now. It's still $50 a month. I know that production time.
When we, the people, rally for a common cause, we become beacons of hope for all. When we, the people, unite, we heal. That's why St. Jude is asking you to stand with us against childhood.
Oh, sorry, Gizmo. I didn't even see you there.
Join St. Jude this September for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Donate now.
Hi, I'm Jay Portly, and welcome to Buy One, Get One solar generator. Claim the pastry power generator 2000X, and you'll get a free 15-hour side switch with 2 free solar panels. These are 2 of Fortnite's newest side usually solar generators that can power your fridge, TV, and critical devices without ever needing gas. Every American has the peace of mind that comes from having backup power. Visit Fortnite.com. This deal is September 30th at midnight.
If you're shopping for a home, you can't last forever to find everything you want. Or compare home values, lot sizes, or home ages all at once. Search in full color to find yours just right. Home search will never be the same again.
Super Beta Prostate is the #1 selling brand for women's prostate in your area. You'll notice less urges to urinate, and you won't be getting up anymore for some of the bathrooms. Super Beta Prostate. Find it at Walmart.
Thanks, Dave Boasting. insurance is too important to put off another day. That's why Select Quote is getting coverage you need easy. Now get up to a $2 million policy with no medical exam and same-day coverage.
Visit selectquote.com.
I can do this with my eyes closed.
It's awesome.
Yeah, he's shy, but a new baby animal is stealing the spotlight. San Diego Zoo Safari Park celebrating their first ever aardvark. Yeah. Little one
Kane.
but its keeper saying it is strong, confident, and curious. It'll be about another 10 months before it's fully grown. It's one of the group of animals that likes to come out at sunset. So, Adam, Moondang, the pygmy. There's a penguin in there too. But that's how the Fox reports this Sunday, September 29th. I'm John Scott. Thanks for watching.
In 3 years, immigration becoming a key issue for voters, the VP doubling down that the crisis at our southern border is Trump's fault, not hers. There are consequential issues at stake in this election, and one is the security of our border. The United States is a sovereign nation, and I believe we have a duty to set rules at our border and to enforce them. These men and women who work there and at other places along our southern border help keep our nation secure. And they need more resources to do their jobs. And so even though Donald Trump tried to sabotage the border security bill, it is my pledge to you that as President of the United States, I will bring it back up and proudly sign it into law. Earlier today, Trump firing back at campaigning in several states.
Kamala Harris can never be forgiven for erasing our border, and she must never be allowed to become president of the United States. She'll destroy. She's a radical left lunatic. And one of the reasons I'm angry, yesterday she made a speech like everything on the border is good, and she's going to fix the border.
Harris's border visit comes on the same day that ICE released new data showing that over 13,000 convicted murderers, 15,000 convicted rapists, they've entered this country in Fox News correspondent Roger in Las Vegas tonight with the latest. Hi, Mark.
Jackie, it's good to see you. Vice President Harris should have a pretty large crowd, which takes the stage behind me later tonight. A lot of people are eager to hear from her. This is the last stop of her West Coast swing. As you mentioned, she also was just in Arizona, where she was talking about the U.S. situation on the U.S. southern border. Now, Harris is getting a lot of attention after meeting with border agents in Douglas, Arizona. Not too far from Tucson, she says she's eager to boost resources to beef up border security, but the Border Patrol Union says criminals are now in the country illegally, but today we heard from a top Harris survey that it's not as tragic as it may sound. Those 13,000 convicted of homicide, they may not be in but most of them are in prison. State and will be deported as soon as they finish serving their prison. Immigration doesn't want to pay that He's been
Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Been to the border. She knows she needs Arizona, yet she goes down there and makes a showing like this. I'm not sure it's enough to convince people. Oh no, it isn't. It wasn't enough to convince the people in Douglas. I was at Cochise County Fair. Everybody there was more than willing to run up and tell me how they felt about the vice president being there. They was purposefully opened up the border. They talked about racing borders, and I think for being down there, it was creating a tsunami across the globe where people were just pouring. 8 million, I see the number somewhere over 10 million. And already the criminals that we have documented on this new ICE report. But what about all the undocumented people, the known gotaways, that we have no idea if they've ever been convicted of crimes in their home country, in their homeland? We're never going to know. They're lost among our cities, lost among the fabric of America, and our children are in danger, we're in danger, and what about the terrorists? So this is policy. This is policy. It is her border policy to leave the border wide open, and she's lying to everyone about this. And it was really a shame. And this is actually what her deputy campaign
Damn allergies, eh? Lots of water coming in.
Somebody is actually putting in the work and somebody is talking about it and continuing to stand in the way of progress. Vice President Harris supported a bipartisan bill that would put the Justice Office on border and immigration in American history. Donald Trump opposed that bill and to blow it up. This is going to be a topic of discussion this time with voters' minds because I would argue, Chief Jack, that this chaos of the border that Sarah just so eloquently laid out, 8.5 million that have crossed in this administration, the 1.9 that got away, so it is 10 million. Now you've got this ICE reporting that there's 15,000 murders, 425,000 criminals that are likely loose on the streets of the U.S. I would think that this is the most important story of the last 4 years. The chaos of the border. And in perspective, we just push back with the feelings of alternative, that these numbers could have been decades. July 2015, Kate Steinman's murder was shot about here in San Francisco. And it was a huge story for weeks because it was rare. Now there's a Kate Steinman every single week. We're seeing these stories playing out, and that is the consequences of the border that has been absolutely on fire from when it first started in Texas. Texas started hardening it, then it went to Arizona, still in Arizona, and now in California, particularly in the San Diego sector, where Bo Meluge and I spent so much time, Sarah, you've been out there as well, and that's where we're seeing particularly people that are on the terror watch list crossing. The majority of the people that are on the terror watch list come through that sector now. So there's the national security threat, Jackie, there's the public safety threat, and now you've got numbers coming out of the administration pushing that block because they don't want us to know.
Oh, of course not. And you're talking, they're saying, let's go back a decade, let's go back 6 years, let's go back to 2018. Kamala Harris chanting.
Yeah, if she wants to solve this problem right now today, she should be out there advocating to get rid of sanctuary cities and sanctuary states because Chris Coons, he's got a lot of nerve going out there saying, well, a lot of these people are incarcerated right now. The problem with these sanctuary cities and states is they'll have somebody that's here legally convicted of a crime and they won't cooperate with ICE. They can't do their job. That's on all the Democrats. That's not just on Kamala Harris. That's on all the Democrats. And don't tell me that you're trying to secure the border when you're by the hundreds of thousands flying people in from these terrorist countries like Cuba. You're flying them into the United States and Venezuela so that they don't even show up in any of this stuff.
Or what about the former chief from San Diego? Testifying. We have SIAs, we have special interest aliens that are crossing this border like we have never seen before. And he was specifically asked by this administration, by Harris and Biden, to keep it on the down low and to not put those numbers out. And that increase was significant.
And what's also, whenever they say, oh, well, why, Donald Trump was opposed to this border bill. The Democrats had the House, the Senate, and the presidency for the first 2 years of this administration. He had a single Democrat. They didn't think this was an issue.
Why not hit him with a wall?
Day after day after day. Obviously,
That's a wrap on this tea party.
now, days before the election, voila! Oh, it was Donald Trump's fault. I mean, they're trying to get the story a little bit so that they can pull back a couple of points. You know this better than anybody in the election. They want to just not lose on the immigration issue by 18 points rather than just lose it by like 11 points. All people expect, but I would say, if I could ask a question, I would say, will you all of the gap that you have to show how many witness murders, other criminals that are convicted, it's in the list of your watch and
Deploying sharks. Time to clean up.
the Obama one, go back to Bush, as much data as you got.
Activating skill.
Rather than having them try and spin it, or in worst case,
Keep moving ahead.
the chief executive executive said, was essentially a cover.
Shit, you don't have to ask her. I would ask her, Vice President, you have the authority now to shut down that war. Let her know. You don't need to. I don't need to. You don't need to. And a little bit later, we'll be talking about what happens when illegals go and they're not asked for identification and potentially want to try to vote. This is a huge issue, election integrity.
That looks like a nice chest.
Into November. Thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. There are some places where you're not required to show an identification. And what is so fundamentally wrong doesn't mean don't show up and vote, America. Go vote. You got to make sure and vote, but it is fundamentally bad to its core. Every single Democrat voted against the idea of the SAVE Act to actually require that somebody be a citizen of the United States to vote in the election. Every one of the Democrats, with I think 4 or 5 members in the House, they all voted against it.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Coming up on the big weekend show, what is Biden thinking about Israel? Your campaign against
Why not hit him with a walker?
Good work, guys. We all in one piece?
knowing where to look for the best deal. That's just one advantage of having a home team advantage. A team of trusted professionals working together so you can win.
Deploying sharks. Time to clean up.
With my gear, home is just a touch away. I'll use the Use Home security solution that provides video calling, real-time notifications, and lets you decide who comes in, who stays out.
Activating drive.
All you on yes.
That's a wrap on this tea party.
Every day, push yourself to be better. Working long days, and even longer nights. Then you're home, spending quality time with family. When your day ends,
There's gotta be some way around all this debris. Nothing's jumping out at me.
Perfect sleep sanctuary of a soft luxury mattress. And
Looks like he's deep in thought. I'd better leave him alone.
you deserve a great night's sleep.
Now, where were we supposed to go? Wait, is that?
Going all in.
Activating drive.
Safe.
So I think the same fascination with every aspect.
All you on yes. Here goes. Cypher activate.
Allegiance flag supply believes in
All you on yes. Eat this.
Put your harness on. Going to a tour here for God's sake.
Activating skill. safe for now.
This starts with you. It starts with a designated driver. Get you guests on entrance. What do you call it when you come and pick you up? And at the corner when you pass the light. Of the driveway with a simple keys please or the living room. You decide to stay overnight. However you ride, thanks for doing your part to keep our roads safe. A message from Arrive Alive Drive Server. Family think we handle the situation safest at the location. And the language is very hard. Therefore, friends was also very hard. The program helped me a lot because I met other kids who were going through the same struggles as me. So I was able to relate and find somewhere where I could have been. Thanks to your support of United Way, I'm able to achieve my dreams and become a doctor.
Welcome back to the weekend show. Israel resuming strikes in Beirut tonight. This after the leader of Hezbollah was killed in a massive airstrike. Earlier this week, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said in a fiery speech that the United Nations General Assembly his country has the right to defend itself against acts of terror. As long as the fundamentals of that war, Israel has no choice and Israel has every right to remove the threat and return our citizens to the United States.
That looks like a nice chest.
Exactly what we do. Meanwhile, President Biden is calling on both sides to agree to a ceasefire. Fox News chief foreign correspondent Trey Yates is live in Haifa, Israel. Hey Trey, what can you tell us tonight?
Yeah, good evening. Some significant developments just in the last hour. The Israelis are currently striking the Lebanese capital of Beirut. We've seen a little bit of aftermath there.
Quite the posse.
And it looks like they've expanded their strikes towards the part of a significant development because the Hezbollah stronghold is actually in the Daca neighborhood in the south of Beirut. So it shows the Israelis are going after Hezbollah leadership and possibly even other militant leaders across this city. And tonight, fresh reports of airstrikes in the Bekaa Valley, another Hezbollah stronghold, an indication that the Israelis are trying to target more of the rocket and missile launching storage units across this country. Now tonight, we have seen some red alerts across northern Israel as Hezbollah fires back. But senior Israeli defense officials telling Fox News today they do not believe Hezbollah has the coordination capability at this point in the conflict after losing their leader Hassan Nasrallah in an Israeli airstrike over the weekend to actually mount a proper counterattack against Israel. It's part of the reason you see the Biden administration calling for a ceasefire, because the real concern here is that Iran gets more directly involved. Remembering that in that strike that killed Hassan Nasrallah, a deputy commander in the IRGC was killed alongside him. So as we look forward, we can expect more calls for a ceasefire from the Biden administration, and the Israelis likely to continue putting more pressure on Hezbollah and possibly even continuing their staging efforts to mount a ground operation into southern Lebanon.
Great reporting as always, Trey. I want to take just a moment though, because we are about a week away from the 1 year anniversary of the deadliest attack in Israel that killed more Jews since the Holocaust, October 7th. Your brand new great book, Black Saturday, also the not look away. What do you say?
Absolutely. In the course of this reporting, we have seen more firsthand some of the most horrific things that you can witness as a journalist, but more importantly as a human. And Black Saturday tries to capture that, what it was like on the morning of October 7th. The day this war began, the war that we are talking about this evening, Rick, that massacre against the civilian population in the southern part of Israel when Hamas infiltrated from Gaza. I went into the Gaza Strip 5 times with the Israeli military. I interviewed hostages who were released as part of the November ceasefire deal. I also interviewed Hamas leadership and Palestinian civilians to get a true understanding of this conflict as it developed. And so what's unique about this is that it includes real-time reporting on the conflict that is still unfolding today. And it really takes you into those early hours of October 7th as the massacre was unfolding, not just from my perspective, but from the perspective of Israeli soldiers, from police officers, from civilians who were witnessing and experiencing the worst days of their lives. Great. Yeah.
I'm sure if I can jump in, I'm just curious. You mentioned Iran and its role in all of this. Of course, Hezbollah is a proxy for Iran. When I think about oil revenue and the kind of money they amassed under this administration, for the 12 months ending March of 2024, they brought $35.8 billion. Their oil exports jumped at that same time to 2 million barrels per day. This was after October 7th. And yet we've seen nothing from this administration trying to handicap them, even though they're after the center of home.
Initiating combat. Let's have some fun.
And look, I heard about this in Black Saturday. The proxies that Iran has in the Middle East, that they're using a lot of this money to fund them. Not just Hezbollah in Lebanon, what we're reporting about today, but also Hamas and Islamic Jihad inside Gaza, the people who were responsible for the October 2nd massacre. We've also seen attacks from Iran's proxy in Yemen, the Houthis, just yesterday launching a ballistic missile at Israel's second largest city of Tel Aviv. And so when we look at what the Israelis have been trying to do, and we look back over the past year in the course of this reporting, we can see that these proxies did not act alone. And it's even more interesting to talk about today. After writing this book, Black Saturday, and looking at the reporting from the past year, you see that even with the leadership of these proxy organizations gone, Ismail Haniyeh, the leader of Hamas, killed in Tehran when he was attending the inauguration of Masoud Pezeshkian, the new Iranian president. The top leadership from Hezbollah, including Hassan Nasrallah, killed in an airstrike over the weekend. These operations and organizations continue, and they will actually continue to grow, interestingly, because despite the fact that leadership has been killed, they will have new recruits as a result of these conflicts that are still unfolding as we speak. And so the big X factor here in all of this is Iran. And the question is, how will the Iranians deal with it? Will they launch strikes against Iran? Will the Iranians retaliate for the killing of Hassan Nasrallah in Lebanon over the weekend, or the killing of the Hamas leader in Tehran, Ismail Haniyeh? These are all open questions, but it's part of the reason that the Americans are so directly involved and why we see so many American assets across the region, because they understand it's not just that money, but it's also the military support that Iran is giving to these proxies. That's the concern for the United States if a larger war does erupt across the region.
Trey, this is Jason Jacobs. You're reporting in this book. Fantastic job. Hope you continue to stay safe there. But Benjamin Netanyahu continues to say he's going to do this until he removes the threat. What is the end game in his mind? When does that threat get to the point where they do stop? Because it's hard to see where that end might be from the Israeli point of view.
It's a great question, Jason, and I write about this a lot in the new book, Black Saturday, because I wanted to get an understanding of what the Israelis see as victory in all of this, because it's a real question. Nearly a year into the conflict, the Israelis have destroyed so many Hamas battalions inside Gaza, but in the process of doing that, they've killed thousands of civilians and decimated the Gaza Strip. So in Black Saturday, I have multiple exclusive interviews with Israel's defense minister, Yoav Gallant, and I posed these questions to him, asking him about what this means to continue a conflict well beyond a year, despite the fact that the initial aim for the Israeli military to completely destroy Hamas is objectively not possible, because the organization, while it doesn't have the rocket launching units that it had at the beginning of the war and the large arsenal to target major Israeli cities, they can fight in a guerrilla warfare concept inside the Strip. They can still threaten the communities along the border. They still do have some rockets and mortars. And so what does the future of Gaza look like? And this is an open question as well. And it's something that the region will have to come to terms with as the war in the north erupts and continues to expand. Gaza is still there. And we should note, as we talk about this, there are still around 100 hostages being held within the Strip.
Well, Trey, thank you for your reporting. It's incredible. I'm always posting all of your work on every bit of social media, but I want to ask you really quickly, how concerned is IDF right now? I was up in the north several months ago. How concerned is IDF as well as Israeli leadership that Iran is going to expand its potential in that region, and they're going to try to fill in that gap that Nasrallah has left behind? I think that's the reason why they're keeping this offensive going directly on Lebanon. But how concerned are they that this is not going to slow it down? It's not going to slow down.
They're very concerned, and they're poised. They're very concerned, and they're poised to launch a larger operation into Lebanon Just about 17 miles from here is the Lebanon border, and we understand that there are thousands of Israeli troops staging, and they are waiting for those orders if the security cabinet decides to send them into southern Lebanon to clear out many of those Hezbollah strongholds.
The book is Black Saturday. It is available at Fox News Books. You can pre-order it. Trade as always, incredible first-hand account reporting. Thank you for taking time. Please stay safe.
Thank you.
Coming up on the Big Weekend Show, Walls is all about good vibes, but those won't be enough to cover up his lies. It's going to be there in his debate showdown with Vance. See what
Introducing Hallmark Plus. Featuring exclusive movies and series you can't see anywhere else. This TV.
Looks like a chest.
Love it on Hallmark in one place. We're gonna make something special here. The all-new Hallmark Plus. Stream joy, earn rewards, share love. Start your free trial at hallmarkplus.com.
When I started My Pillow, it was just a problem solution one-party company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products. Some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza.
Whoops, dead end. Let's turn back.
$25.
Hold your horses, girl. We should look around a little more.
$25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack houses, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack house, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium My Pillows with all the pieces of fabric, any size, any block level,
A hidden entrance?
size for only $25.
Guy's nothing if not thorough.
So much.
The side out should be dead ahead.
Westwood discovered.
Use promo code for our $25. Order $75 and over, your entire order ships absolutely free.
Remember that time when our
Excellent.
bags made us look sexy? Yeah. Now, we can reduce our eye bags by drinking less alcohol, sleeping more, cool compresses, blah, 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 and
Can't get much more Middle Ages than this. Gargoyles, huh? Maybe Giacomo had a better eye for hideouts than I thought.
Particle 601 face cream, first of its kind anti-aging cream designed specifically
Look at that.
for eye bags, cover spots, and wrinkles. Visit CarpelMed.com. Use the promo code on your screen to receive 25% off.
It's the spitting image of that picture you showed me.
Free shipping, 30-day.
It really is. It perfectly matches the sketches in my great-grandfather's diaries.
Because see,
I finally found it.
I'm happy for you. So it really does look like an orbment. But why is it glowing? Get back!
Not hearing, we don't want to change to regular phone. It made us feel isolated. Clear captions was an easy solution for us.
It went inside the statue.
So that's not good.
Making it easy to understand and respond immediately.
There is no insurance or Medicare required. Clear caption service is
Okay.
provided at no cost to you through a federally funded program. We deliver, install, and train you on how to use your phone, all at no cost to you.
Give your loved ones the independence and connection they deserve.
Call now to see if you qualify to get a Clear Captions phone at no cost to you.
Man!
1-800-916-7705.
We're gonna have to take care of these guys before we can make with your memento.
7705.
But I know that's not enough to stop you at this point, right? Time to bust out your crafts, SCLMs, the works. Because here's where the real show begins.
Right!
Sure can.
Do you hear me?
Sure can.
Oh,
Time to put this to use.
from their first appointment to our nearly invisible solution risk-free. Call 1-800-234-7090 now.
I just want to be on the record that I did not pick that song.
back to the weekend show. Is there a reason why Tim Walz is setting a personal bar as he preps to face JD Vance Tuesday's high presidential debate?
Look, he's made a law guy, a public school teacher. So we know where he's at on that. I'll work hard. That's what I do. I fully expect that Senator Vance, as a United States Senator, a Yale law guy, he'll come well prepared.
Walz swapped all the good vibes for lies when he misrepresented his
Certain odds have to be effective.
instead of owning up. Take it all.
We can do background check. We can do CDC research. We can make sure we don't have reciprocal parenting on the case. And we can make sure that what the support out there is close to those guys. Yeah, I said we were talking about it.
Going all in.
Yeah, correct. On the other hand, Vance showing confidence ahead of the debate, telling them, quote, we have well-developed views on public policy, so we don't have to prepare that much. House Majority Whip Tom Emmer of Minnesota aiding Vance with debate prep as he knows Walz policy is best.
Tim's been a complete disaster in Minnesota, and what's happened is he's so good in this folksy, nice kind of down in the shadow until people get to know his policies. He's like damn Nixon.
All right, Sarah, take that one for us because you try to say, oh, I'm just a school teacher. Shucks, you know? You're trying to be the second in line to be the president of the United States.
All you want is
By the way, this is a pathetic excuse coming from the wife of a veteran service member who almost lost his life on the battlefield, who was blinded in Afghanistan, watching Walz over-exaggerate and lie. And believe me, this happens a lot. He's not the only one. We've seen people like him who pretend that they were in the battle in the thick of it and ask a few more questions. You find out. Now, is that stolen valor? I'm not sure. I don't want to cross that line, with him. He did serve in the National Guard. I don't want to take that away from him. But I think that over-exaggeration to get votes really disqualifies him. And it really shows a lack of character. So if he can pretend to be the folksy, guy all he wants, I think people see right.
Excellent.
Griff, I want to play this quote.
The mages of the Middle Ages left behind some damn tough guardians for us. It bugs me why they pick now of all times to start moving. Oh, whatever. Stepped up. It takes a brave soul to fight like that against the unexpected.
You mean it? Thank you. I'm very fortunate I had you to show me the ropes.
All right, let's get some facts straight here, Griff. First of all, Tim Walz was first elected in 2006 when JD
Let me be the one to pick it up.
serving in the military.
That's a good idea.
Vance took office in 2023. So who's the politician and who's not?
Looks safe enough to me.
17 years
Well,
there.
here's what you came here for. Did he just react with her like a combat ordnance?
I finally hold a Genesis in my hands. There's still more to find, but I did it, Mom. Grandmother.
Say, yes. This great-grandfather of yours wouldn't happen to be...
It's like that old, trick that used to maybe get people to not
There you
more.
are.
Oh gosh, she's not doing so good.
Well, impressive footwork.
What you're going to see is two very different style politicians going at it. And to JD Vance's credit, he is, way before he was picked, he would go on to CNN and MSNBC. He would go on to CNN again.
Was waiting on the duo from Armada to make their grand entrance.
See, our reputation precedes us. You must be Van Arkwright, Spriggan.
And my reputation precedes me. Look, I'm not opposed to picking up some work from you types most of the time. Just as long as you don't cross the line, which you just did by firing at us.
That's too bad. We were only aiming for your limbs. We have no intention of killing the girl. Not since she seems to be connected to that device. You, however, don't have that same privilege.
You're real pros, huh? So much it makes me sick. But it also makes my job a lot easier.
Well, and I think one of the other topics they're going to bring up the riots happened there in Minnesota for 3 days. He called the National Guard, and in his own words, he said it was an abject failure. That was really cool.
Don't move.
All right, coming up after this break, Melania Trump calls out the love for branding her husband a threat, and one main member of the mainstream media isn't taking it.
Practitioner of the Gecko School, I assume. Even if that weapon marks you as more of a military close combat type.
Good eye. But sorry, I'm not with the Gecko School. Anyway, you don't look like you know all that much about the device itself. But you're still gonna tell us everything you do know, and why you're after it.
I'm certainly curious too. What does a criminal organization even want this for?
Beats me. We're just following orders. Putting orders in order. Even if it costs us our lives.
My grandchildren, they're 6th generation of dancers.
What?
It's what my family's all about. I thought I knew a lot about our Irish roots. I was surprised to learn so many more things from its history. Back in 1892,
You good?
wow.
I'm fine. I'm more worried about you.
Fast-acting enhancement drugs, huh? Didn't think you guys had gone that low. Ever heard the stories about foreign mafias getting destroyed by that stuff?
I'll thank you not to compare us to small fry like Crossbell's Ravage. We stand head and shoulders above them. And now we're gonna stand head, shoulders, and feet above you!
Get the solar generator and free now at 4 major stops.
Where'd that spunk from earlier go? We're gonna enjoy this! Got that out of your system? It's done! Spring in! Hell! Find them! You can die too!
Could do a shard shield.
The best way to solve
No time.
it is to keep it from happening.
Damn it. Don't die over a piece of shit like me.
We combine medical and pharmacy data with behavioral health data to identify members in need of care, predicting and treating behavioral health issues quickly, while lowering costs for plan sponsors and members. That's Wonder made possible. Evernorth Health Services.
Life insurance is too important to put off another day. That's why Select Quote makes getting coverage you need easy. Now get a $2 million policy with no medical exam and same-day coverage.
There's a light coming from my great-grandfather's.
How many bathroom trips are you
Oh
making each day?
boy, you sure are in a sorry mess.
The #1 selling formula in its category. Made with Prostafen, a triple action blend to help reduce urgency urine. Find it at Walmart.
How is this?
The hollow from your Zypha.
Has been such a game changer. Reduces ripples and promotes weight loss. My skin looks
Well,
healthier.
Dan,
I'm
the
nervous.
choice is yours.
In the first couple of weeks,
Will you bear the nightmare or not? What if you...
Wakes up.
Since when can hollows appear like this?
The rest.
World's full of mysteries. Are you asking me that question of your own free will?
Start with secret.
Huh?
I never had to wait for insurance to approve a test or
I
approve
could
a
not care
medication.
less how much
You didn't have to
trouble
worry
you're in.
about any of those things thanks to
I'm just
the
here to know
donations
one
our
thing.
family has
Will you bear the nightmare or not?
Sleep deeply and wake up routine. Heartland Mattresses gives folks that don't like sleep.
Man, today's just one thing after another. Huh. My life's been a living nightmare for more than a decade now. So what's a little more fire when you're already in the depths? All right, let's do it!
Oh, hey! Doing it, though!
Melania Trump is all in on winning her husband another term. The former president shared decision causing threats Ainsley and Craig.
I think the team around you is very, very important. Very, very important. They need to have the same vision. They need to be in the White House for the right reasons, not for their own agendas.
The former First Lady also calling out the media for branding her husband a quote threat to democracy.
Is it really
What
shocking
is this
that
feeling?
all this religious violence?
Well, I take fighting this thing over our block is any day of the week. That's right. We're taking you down in the name of a mother.
Opposition party needs to media branding him as a threat to democracy, calling him violence. They only
Someone needs to relax. You're just
opposite atmosphere.
Such an important point, even after 2 assassination attempts on Trump, the mainstream media is still going all in on the threat narrative. But Melania is the one who is getting called out. Take a listen. CNN Christiana Montour went on X saying, quote, Mrs. Trump is mistaken. Political violence is not the fault of the mainstream media, and I wish you would take back this false and dangerous accusation. I've got to tell you, this is very concerning. I want to read some of what has been out there in the headlines. New York Magazine, Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, and saying so is not incitement. The Nation, Trump is as gullible as he is a threat to democracy. Fox, yes, it's still fair to call Trump a threat to democracy. Doesn't the First Lady have a point? I think she does have a point, and they stopped saying it for about 2 seconds after there's an attempt on his life, which is happened twice now. And then they go right back. Speaking of the mainstream media, Stephanie Ruhle was on with Bill Maher, and she used that same language before she interviewed. However, they have said he must be eliminated, they have called him a fascist, they have said he's akin to Adolf Hitler. And so, when you go back and think of why is this happening, it's not happening in a vacuum, it's happening for a reason. They are demonizing him in order to further themselves. They don't care how dirty their tactics are, how bad they look, all they want to do is win. Well, let me ask you, Jason, because we've been seeing this same exact rhetoric since 2016, and I can say it's not even just the media. We saw this with our intelligence apparatus. We have seen John Brennan, Clapper, Comey, other people within the bureaucracy say those exact same words. Isn't that just putting out this disinformation, these lies, and calling him a threat, just making it a security, potential security threat for him and his own life and his family?
Well, where is the former First Lady, Melania Trump, for all? I thought she was very poised and very measured in what she was saying. I think it's disgusting. Somebody who's been through 2 assassination attempts and has threats coming through on an hourly basis, that she could have really
Ooh.
harder, but she's one of the classiest First Ladies.
Absolutely, and I mean, thinking about this, there's another belief that Iran has an attempt on his life. I mean, security has to be enhanced, and people have complained and said, look, I don't think this, a lot of people are worried if the Secret Service up to par, if they can have enough security, because there's 2 attempts on his life, and now another one from an adversarial nation. I mean, that's very concerning.
That was cool.
Just like the rest of America, she's saying that during that first attempt, the guy who had the drone in the air is on an 888 call line trying to get tech support to figure out how to fly the thing. Of course she's terrified. I think there's a larger picture here, Sarah, and that is we rarely do hear from Melania Trump. And this special tonight, I think it's so important to get her to hear from her and see a side we never have at a time when she's going to be worried about the
I'm
next
fine.
nearly 40 days.
Tired as all hell, but I don't feel any pain. Can't believe I just took down a pair of drugged up mafiosos like they were snot-nosed kids. What a monster.
It's a bit, in terms of the
What was
criticism of
that?
people like Christiana
You saw
it's a
there
bit
too.
early to jump in. Like, she's
Yeah.
speaking out, and she normally doesn't. Let's hear her out. Let's see what she's got to say. If
just
this
tell me what you
decide
want.
to, have something to say, but it's a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. People jump on.
Figures.
Who knows?
All she spits out is what she's programmed.
Well, and look, we've seen that
She's got no sentience. The tech hasn't come far enough to give her any.
people lost their lives, right? So, I mean, this is very serious, and the threat is very real. You can watch
Was it the Genesis, then?
Well, can't imagine it was a fluke. So that thing's called a Genesis?
Yes. Or that's what my great-grandfather called it in his diaries. It's supposed to be one of 8. Called collectively the Oct Genesis.
You're saying there's 8 of these? I'm gonna guess it was behind everything that happened here. Behind Mare showing up, behind me turning into that weird monster, behind spirits popping up down here too.
Then we're of the same mind.
Cool.
A large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving us with a ton of extra modules. But you know what? That's their loss.
Them as for experimental observation and
Of course, they elected to omit the finer details. Accepted the story. I didn't think it'd be from a relative of the one and only. Dead on. That thing was made half a century ago, around the time of the Orbital Revolution. It's easy to tell by looking at it just how much precision and skill went into making it. Then you got that it's an ordnance capable of doing artifact level stuff. Even if could have used something so advanced back then. You're out of the running, and you're left with the father of modern tech, Claude Epstein.
I'm sorry for hiding it from you. I'll tell you everything there is to say. It all started when...
Not now. Put it away, quick.
Van, are you all right?
When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere.
We were a few minutes too late.
Those two are...
They're from Amada. We finally caught them.
Get lost. This is our territory.
Who do you think you're talking to? This isn't a job for civilians. Just what happened to you? I can see that you fought them, but you're mad.
We fought, yeah. With how pumped full of drugs they were, it was a miracle we could make it out with our skin intact.
Oh.
As curious as I am about how you emerged victorious, I trust you were able to help your client?
No comment. That's between me and her. Now, I know I owe both sides here a debt, but consider them paid. They might be at the bottom of the chain, but they're still in Almada. You can have one each.
Excuse me.
Who gave you the authority to?
I suppose we do owe him for neutralizing them.
Very well. We shall take them in between us.
Maybe if you're lucky enough, they'll even talk. Now come on, let's get out of here.
Oh, sure. But let me help you walk.
I'm good.
This is clearly only the beginning of something much greater. Sharpen your skills while you can, Van.
Will do, Renee.
Kincaid.
See and see me about that. Over back to the weekend show. Joe Rogan going after Vice President Kamala Harris this week. Over this week. It's office, but then they cramped down more. We were trying to do with
I can't
Twitter.
let him keep
Still
living
trying to
like
do
this.
with something else with other business. Sharing a post of the clip on the same quote.
Why must you insist on shouldering all of the burden yourself?
That the First Amendment doesn't apply to misinformation. There's no guarantee of free speech on misinformation or hate speech in this country or our democracy.
Tell the troops where the voting places are. Who can vote? Who's able to be there? All right, let's go run a book with Sarah and you're fired up about this. Sarah, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm so fired up about this because think about it. The biggest
Damn. Guess I'm going without dinner.
and so remember when they wanted to create that disinformation?
You even good to be out this late? I thought students had been sleeping.
That's kind of you to think of me, but I received permission to be out this late beforehand. Never mind my curfew. Won't you let me see to your arm? Do you have a first aid kit in the office?
I do, but
We're going to be able to spy on journalists, we're going to spy on clergy, we're going to expand our spy capabilities on attorney-client privilege and doctors. So, yes,
It looks like it started healing on its own.
if a Kamala Harris
I know it wasn't that bad in the first place.
government under them, this progressive, radical government, that
But it's still healing way too fast for it to be normal.
they're going to
Wonder if I got that augment, turning into a monster to thank for this.
and neither is Elon Musk. They're right on the line.
This all began with those diaries. They were passed down from my great-grandfather to my grandmother, and then down to my mother until her death 4 years ago. As you guessed, my great-grandfather is the famous Professor Epstein. It was known at the time that he had an adopted daughter, but she went missing very suddenly after he passed away. By the sound of it, something compelled her to shy away from the public eye. I don't know what that something was. It wasn't written in the letter she left me. Then after my mother died, my father began to lose himself in his work, and now all alone, I became more and more captivated by the many diaries that were left behind. They weren't filled with complex formulae or specialist knowledge or things like that. Instead, they were about who he was as a person, what he was like, what his philosophies were, what he valued most in life. He wrote about the little things that colored his days, his bonds with his loved ones, his time spent with his disciples. I could see through every word written that he was a kind, warm-hearted man with a good sense of humor. A man I could respect a great deal. I was so happy to have his writings, so I could peer into his world, just like my mother and grandmother before me. And before I knew it, those diaries became my most treasured possessions. However, at the end of his final entry, on the very last page, I found a shocking message. It said, recover the Octogenesis before the year 120X.
I'll see you, man.
Else all we know will come to an end.
An ominous thing to write down.
It could have been a delusion that came to him in the winter of his years, but I began to feel that it was why his diaries had been passed down to me. And as the days wore on, my desire to do something to avert the end he foretold grew stronger and stronger. But I knew I couldn't go public with any of it. Not with my grandmother's disappearance. That led me to enroll at Armis Academy, where I met a very dependable upperclassman. Her advice took me to the Orbalnet, and that led me to you. I just never thought when I started all of this that these would be the consequences, that someone would die, that you would be put in so much danger.
Well, we managed to get one of them. Even if there's still 7 more out there, we could always call it quits here.
I can't. Not when they're what connect me to my family. Not when I now know they really exist. And not after seeing that final entry. I can't look away from all of that. Here. This 50,000 Mira is everything I was able to gather for this. Please. Accept it as compensation for all the help you've given me.
I thought I told you my rate.
Well, you did, but I don't feel that it accounted for that injury you sustained because of me. I intend to find the remaining 7 on my own. I don't want anyone else to get hurt because of my problems. Oh, but I'll be very careful about it. Promise. Huh?
My rate's 1,000 Mira an hour, excluding other necessary expenses. I'll bump it up a little because of the danger involved. But you rolled up your sleeves more than your average client. You put yourself in danger to help me. Any more than 10,000 would be ripping you off. This is how the world of work is. Good thing you're still in school, because you got a lot to learn.
Maybe, but still. I'm sorry. I just feel you've taken on a lot more than you bargained for from start to finish.
To be honest, that whole turning into a monster thing's got my interest piqued. So it wouldn't feel right to ask you for even more Mira with how we're gonna keep this thing going.
What do you...
Unless you decide to give up altogether, I'll pitch in however I can from here on out. In exchange, you can share any info you got on the Genesis, or anything those diaries say. How's that sound?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but are you telling me that even though you know it might be dangerous, you're going to help me search for the other 7 without taking additional compensation?
Hey, info's good compensation. I ain't taking a single Mira, though. I'm gonna need you to get more used to real combat, too. For your own safety. Can't have you leaving yourself wide open and all that good stuff. And I'm gonna drill it into you until you're up to snuff.
I don't know. This doesn't sound like a fair trade at all. I'm the only one benefiting here. Well, if you insist, Van, then thank you very much. Having your support means a lot to me.
Yeah, well, I'll be counting on you, too. All right. Now that today's done and dusted, it's time for my hard-earned reward. I've been waiting for my Andalusia pig and honey tart all day. I was gonna scarf it down all by myself, but you pulled your weight today, so let's go half-half.
Thank you. Oh, but I still want to say, it really does bother me just how much I benefit from this arrangement compared to you. I was thinking of a way to even it out and thought, you know, how about I work here part-time?
You want a what?
You seem to be so busy that I can't imagine how you find the time to clean up around here. I'm also good at secretarial work, too, so I'm sure I'd be a big help with sorting paperwork and whatever else you need. Just a standard wage is fine. Or even no wage. Unpaid is totally fine.
I can't do that. Haven't you ever heard of labor laws? And forget that. This whole idea is crazy. How did me hiring you even get into your head?
Well, it's because you won't accept any Mira from me. I understand you have your own way of doing things, but I have my own pride to satisfy, you know. You'll just have to compromise. Now, let me just cut this tart into 2 so we can dig in and enjoy. Don't worry, I'll make sure you get the bigger portion. And where do you keep your coffee beans? Oh, there they are.
Wait, how did you find this so... Who said you could make yourself at home this fast?
This call, which was obtained by the Washington Post, remember where it's coming from, Arizona cops said, quote, when this goes public,
That's funny.
we're going to have all the conspiracy theorists in the globe, in the world, coming back to relitigate the past 3 elections at least in Arizona. Governor race, the Senate race, or even the presidential race, there are a lot of questions regarding what happened. And ultimately, the whole thing is that the issue of there is democracy, 20% democracy. What is more integral to our democracy than immigrants and enforcement? What is it so hard to have something for a driver's license to vote? Maintain that integrity. People here in the United States having an election, they don't roll their eyes like they do.
They are indeed. How about this? Harry and Meghan's missing millions. The Royals called for foundation into the clear, according to Alien Secret.
Did a good job on the eyes. They got really good eyes.
How about this? Are the Royals broke? He's walking on a haunted house. To check it out, it's out of jail. Jelly. What's happening? There's a problem here. I don't know.
Sir, you mean I'm fine when it comes to debate fact-checking ahead of the vice president campaign this Tuesday. The network says it's a responsibility of both JD Vance and Bill Walsh to point out misstatements by one another. And I think they're certainly doing this because of ABC. Jason
Tuesday night, looking forward to it. All right, the New York Times reporter roasted players' TV interview performances, calling them nervousness that is palpable. She goes on to say, quote, she often winds her way slowly toward an answer, leaving out jargon and rehearsed terms of phrase, using language that is sometimes derivative. Words sound that might be better described as brain. I call it hey. That's the problem with her. She's a fake. She doesn't know.
She talked about the holisticness of housing and trying to help people. She must have used that word 10 times. People were sitting there and they said, what did she say? She was trying to focus on the middle class.
Well, that's because
Right.
it's part of the whole. Rolling the law. All of the parts are part of the
Gotta keep this up.
That's what's
Rank up.
It's a little hard to follow, but nobody pressed her on it. Shocking. Nobody ever does. That does it for us. We'll see you next weekend.
Rose to E plus. Oh, enemies drop more money. Oh, Sepeth, sorry. That could be good.
I'm I still have a lot to learn, but I promise I'll do whatever I can to keep up.
What gives you? I decided she's sick. She had that 20-some personalities, but she definitely has 3 parts to her personality. What are the 3 parts in Kamala Harris's personality? Well, number 1, she's a committed Marxist Islamist. She's a radical leftist to the left of Bernie Sanders. How do you know that? Well, we have her lawyer, 2019, 2020, running for president. To the left of Bernie Sanders, we have her statements in the United States Senate. And so we have the record. That's why she came close. That's why she came to That's why she came honestly.
This here will be the turning point.
So she didn't get
All universe, assume the dual Lancer
She
formation.
didn't get a single vote. Tony House 2. So she hooks the slide into the as the radical Marxist Islamist who she really is. Okay, so that's personality trait number 1. What about number 2? She is a pathological serial liar.
Too easy.
She just lies about small things and big things and everything in between.
I've got you.
She is a pathological serial liar. More than most politicians. Well, what's the third personality trait? She's a bad little She's a bad little imbecile. If somebody doesn't write it, put it right in front of her face, or she's not for 7 days, or for 60 minutes, or 90-minute debate.
Guess we lost
She's
this
a
one.
babbling imbecile. Now, how do we know that? Well, because they're hiding her.
Regimental commander of the
That's a
Eisenfield,
confession.
Darren Reed.
And she's every bit the babbling imbecile that Joe Biden is. So,
We are
let's
open to
begin
accepting your
personality
offer
trait
for
number
a
3,
seat spot.
the babbling imbecile
How does a
personality.
7-3 split sound? Vice Chief of the Warriors of Kruger, Hassan al-Fayyan. We will accept no less than 6-4. Fail to accept, and the fighting continues. Very well. 6-4 to us it is. Glory to the Kruger! Glory to Arusha!
Unburdened by what has been a movement that has always been about the ability
That
to
works,
see
I
what
guess.
can be.
I figured more it was gonna end in a draw. Your counterattack was really good. Just lacking that bit of oomph at the end. If you'd seen my attempt to throw you off balance coming, you'd have had a slew of more strategic options to work with.
You're right.
Their energy and enthusiasm, their ambition, their aspiration, their ability to see what
Think nothing of it. You've got a lot of potential. You just need more practice and to up your stamina. With enough of both, you'll be right on the heels of my other little sister from back in the day in no time.
your ability
You mean Sylvie?
to see what can be.
Still like to know more about her.
Unburdened by what has been. Read.
I can't help it. I see this hair and I just get the urge to ruffle it.
And
Well, next time we meet off the battlefield, I'll tell you about my old corps. Zephyr's got a whole lot of stories in it to tell.
Awesome! Better make that a promise.
Unburdened by what has been. Driven by the ability to see America as it can be. Unburdened by what has been. Most importantly, you have the ability to see what can be unburdened by what has been. Based on our collective ability to see what is possible, to see what can be, unburdened by what has been.
Hopefully we'll be unburdened by her, so we can see the possibilities that will be. I say this from a holistic approach. You understand?
Damn. I just wanted to see if there was anything interesting going on.
Listening to this.
But all I get is doom and gloom. Still, the info here is put together real nice and organized. Even if the design's got the admin's taste all over it.
This reminds me of something. And I finally figured it out. You know, when I was a kid, there was a comedian called Professor Erwin Corey. She's Professor Erwin Corey in a pantsuit. Let me show you what I mean. Go.
Should have known. Haven't heard a thing about Armada in a while now. They must have pulled out of Edith for the time being. As for Genesis and the Grendel, still coming up empty. Are they being actively deleted? Is this all part of some big cover-up?
Yeah, just tell me what you want.
She's the same as usual, too. Should I call on Marduk? Nah, that'd probably just cause even more headaches for me. Well, it's almost time for my regular checkup, so I may as well put a pin in it. Why do I feel like I'm gonna get an earful this time? Wanna not bang my door in, News?
Whoa, you're up already? That's crazy! Good morning, man. You better be earning an honest living up here. You're bringing shame to the goddess or your landlord.
No prizes for guessing who you learned all that from. How about taking after your mother instead? Wouldn't it be nice to become a charming, pretty lady just like her one day?
I want to be just like Mom. Oh, but Onyx is really pretty too.
He's hilarious.
Come on in.
She's frightened.
Don't be shy.
Now,
Well,
the rapid
you
Marxist
say so.
video on Cyber New York writing, the Washington Examiner.
You said not to come in my
Use this issue of
uniform,
the
so
border
I wore
for
this.
speak, which kind of
How do I look?
demonstrated everything. She walked about 20 yards on the border for about 20 minutes.
Mint. You get the tits too.
Work, I guess.
Fuck, you got tits.
Kinda too dressy for casual walking around town, but then again, going the plain route with you would just make you stick out like a sore thumb. Still beats the uniform either way.
That's good. You're being mean, Dan. She looks really pretty, so you should tell her she's really pretty. Come on, let's ditch this big loser and eat some breakfast. We're serving bacon quiche with pumpkin soup today. Oh, that sounds delicious. Lead the way.
Well, babe, those two sure hit it off quick.
Had Harris miraculously won the White House in 2020, she would have set up the same border crisis that Biden did, and maybe worse. So when Biden actually did set up the crisis, he had Harris's full support. When Biden put her in charge of dealing with the root causes, quote unquote, of the crisis he had caused, he, she, and everyone else understood it was a way of appearing to deal with the problem without dealing with the problem. And that is precisely what Harris did. A few perfunctory actions, things got worse. So she's a Marxist radical ideologue, just like Becky. She's a pathological liar from her friends at the Center for Immigration Studies. She keeps waving around this bipartisan deal. She says, if I'm elected, that bill will come up and we will get it rolling on. I'm used to dealing with bipartisan ways. I'm used to dealing with something else. Not the bill.
seriously analyzed that bill, and the Senate would offer more new impediments to border security than it would be eliminated would be an understatement. The issue is that the bill itself is 380 pages long, and I guarantee you she hasn't read it. And few, if any, in the press at the time or acuity to not only read it, but more importantly, to understand what it would do and what it wouldn't do. Consequently, most of Harris's claims about the legislation have not been publicly challenged. I've been trying to do this as much as I can. Moderator David, we all remember him, Tony, during the ABC News debate. He did not do much to advance understanding of the bill when he followed up Harris's statements with the following question of Trump. Let me just ask, though, why did you try to kill that bill and successfully so? That would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the border. It didn't. That, as we say, they write, assumes a fact, not an evidence. That bill died because it needed to die. While reading thousands of lines of complicated bill text is a challenge for most reporters, actually looking at the Senate vote count on that bill is not. James Lankford was the only Republican Senate supporter of that bill who could objectively be called, as Harris put it, most conservative. Centrist senators Mitt Romney, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Connors also voted in favor during the
Getting ready for a hard day's work?
But notably, opposition was bipartisan as well. Massachusetts Democratic Senators Elizabeth Warren and Ed Markey voted against it. California Democratic Senator...
Then that's all the more reason why you need to support her while she learns. Don't overdo it today. And make sure you're back in time for dinner. I mean that for you too, Agnes. We'll have a piping hot, delicious meal waiting for you. Would have wanted to get cold now, would you?
By the time the bill came up for a second vote, its last vote in May, opposition to it was pouring in for both sides of the aisle, with Senators Cory Booker, Democrat, LaFonso Butler, California, Democrat, and even Langford in Senate voting no. Murkowski was the only Republican holdout still in support. They point out, I seriously question whether people like Sanders, Booker, or Warren would even take a call from Donald Trump. You can guarantee that they wouldn't allow their decision to be swayed by him. She's a pathological liar, and so are you fraud in the media. All you had to do is look at the vote, and you would know she's been lying and lying and lying. All you had to do is read the bill, give it to one of your interns and research assistants, and you would know if you were repeating her propaganda. But that's what you want to do, isn't it? This bill may catch and release the law. They can stay in Mexico impossible. Should Donald Trump, God willing, be elected president, the bill would require work permits for illegal aliens, no pathway to citizenship. The bill would require provision of taxpayer-funded lawyers. You folks at the barely make ends meet would be paying for lawyers for illegal aliens. That's in the bill. The bill would make legal up to 5,000 illegal aliens a day.
And let the workday begin.
A year, not even including gotaways. Tens of billions of dollars for sanctuary states and sanctuary states. Tens of billions of dollars. It was an amnesty bill. Now, Kamala Harris, she prosecuted transnational groups. Oh, yeah, I know who these people are. I'm a tough prosecutor. I know how this works. When I was Attorney General of California, I know who these people are. You don't need to lecture me about prosecuting. I have looked. I've asked the media to look. Now others have looked. I can't find a single actual case in which she was prosecuted the case, let alone if I'm wrong, campaign, please present us with a stack of prosecutions that you personally handled as DA for 8 years and Attorney General for 8 years. Why is it not finding where's Waldo? Or for that matter, where's Kamala? But even that aside, Joe Pollack writes, former Trump administration Department of Justice official Jeff Clark said he can't find evidence that Kamala Harris ever personally led the prosecution of a single case at the local or state level. I cannot either. So why do I have to look? If it's a prosecutor, give it to us. I'm looking to see whether she actually first chaired a trial ever, Clark told Charlie Kirk. Holland says, one would think that records of her case would be pretty easy to find online, but that's not the case for that time period. Go ahead and look. Clark notes that he might have
Okay, let's save it here.
and actually go to courthouses and find out. In other words, it's a joke.
Excellent. And we'll see you guys next time.